Well, Ian Anderson and the Braves pitching staff definitely showed up last night. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Hats Show videocast here, recapping last night's third game of the World Series between the Atlanta Braves and the Houston Astros, as the Braves defeat the Astros by a final score of 2-0 as Ian Anderson goes out and pitches 5 no-hit innings. Now, guys, before we get into this video, please subscribe if you haven't not yet. Please hit the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. So the Braves take a 2-1 series lead after they win the first game of the World Series. Then they come out the next day and then lose to Houston Astros. Then they get the day off on the traveling day back to Atlanta, and they win to get the 2-1 series lead. They got great pitching in this game. Shutout here in the World Series. 2 hits allowed by this Braves pitching staff. They had a no-hitter going into the 8th inning. Brian Snitker makes the difficult decision to pull him out of the game, which I thought was kind of risky, right? I mean, this guy, he was dealing, and his stuff looked very, very good. He was pulling a lot of the Astros hitters. So it was kind of surprising to see Brian Snitker make that decision. Of course, it was a tough decision. So you pick up the scoring summary here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Austin Riley doubles on a ground ball to left field and deflected off of Alex Bregman down there at 3rd. And Andy Rosario comes around to score as it's now 1-0 Atlanta here in the 3rd. So the Braves pounce first. They could have gotten way more out of that bottom of the 3rd inning, but failed to do so, right? Of course, they had bases loaded, 1 out, and then they got nothing. They got absolutely nothing. But luckily for the Braves, Austin Riley delivered right there on that RBI double to make it 1-0 Braves. But they definitely could have gotten a lot more. Then we pick it up on the 8th inning. Travis d'Arnaud, man, this guy has just been great. He homers on a fly ball to center field, his 2nd of the World Series, and that puts the Braves on top 2-0. Travis d'Arnaud definitely asserting himself as one of the best catchers in baseball, especially if he could stay healthy. I mean, this guy he's very, very good, right? He's very good back there. He's great at blocking the baseball, and he's definitely good offensively. So this guy definitely one of the most underrated, not only catchers, but players in this game. So I'm very impressed with Travis d'Arnaud, and that was a big insurance run for the Braves in round to their 2-0 victory here in the 3rd game of the World Series. So congratulations to the Braves on winning Game 3. So they're just 2 wins away from their first World Series championship since 1995 when they beat the Cleveland Indians, but they still got a long way to go. So before I move forward, I'd like to take the time to acknowledge the pregame ceremony that they had for Henry Aaron. Hank Aaron, a beautiful, tribute. They brought his wife out there, his son, Henry Jr., throw out the first pitch to Freddie Freeman, another huge Braves icon that we look back on, and I'm going to say maybe, 20 years when he's no longer playing baseball, and everybody's going to love him, right? I mean, another Braves legend able to, catch that baseball. Of course, he's not going to be at Hank Aaron's level, but Hank Aaron, one of the best to ever do it, but that was a very, very touching ceremony and a ceremony that I really enjoyed watching. So that was, simply amazing. Of course, as I said, they brought his wife out there. She was very, very emotional, with the crowd, and it was very nice. That was very nice. I'm glad they showed that, beautiful, tribute for a very good man. A very good man in Hank Aaron who not only did great things on the field, but he was a great man off the field. He set an example, and he dealt with a lot of stuff. So, I really give him a lot of credit. So this amazing tribute for an amazing man. So as we move forward here and take a look at Ian Anderson's start. 5 innings without allowing any hits, but he did walk 3. That was one of the, the glaring, things out of his line. He did walk 3 despite not allowing any hits and only 4 strikeouts. This goes to show you that he was allowing a decent amount of contact. And he didn't look absolutely spectacular out there, but he looked very good though. He looked very good. He looked close to excellent, but he definitely had a little trouble locating there, especially with those 3 walks. But the Braves bullpen showed up in this one right after kind of a rough performance in Game 2 out of the pitching staff. A.J. Minter came in the 6th inning. He totally dominated, striking out 2. Of course, Luke Jackson, a guy who's been great for the Braves, of course, had that really, really rough game in LA. I believe that was the 3rd game of the National League Championship Series against the Dodgers. That was absolutely horrible, but he looked very, very good last night. It's hard to throw a no-hitter, especially in the World Series. As the no-hitter was blown by Tyler Matzek, who allowed a lead lead-off single to Diaz. That was the Astros' first hit. And then Alex Bregman with a lead-off single there in the top of the ninth inning to get things started for the Astros. But that was it, right? The Astros couldn't do anything after that. They lose 2-0. This is very discouraging for the Houston Astros. A very inconsistent offense. I'm going to say a very inconsistent offense, right? This is a team, just came off of scoring 7 runs, right? I mean, Michael Brantley is a hit machine. Jose Altuve hit that home run. I mean, Carlos Correa, a guy who's an absolute stud, right? I mean, Kyle Tucker, a great right fielder. So, this is very surprising how inconsistent this Astros offense is. It's just very, very inconsistent. Yan Alvarez hasn't been great. And honestly, the Braves' offense also hasn't been that great. So, it's kind of weird. It's kind of been a little bit of a weird series. But this is when it hurts not to have Charlie Morton. If you're Atlanta Braves, this is when it hurts not to have Charlie Morton going out there. Of course, Ian Anderson did his job last night. But now they're going to be rolling the dice, right? I mean, they have not announced their starter for tonight's ball game. Tonight, 8:09, the first pitch on Fox Sports. But Dusty Baker, manager of the Astros, has already announced his starter, and it will be Zach Greinke. And let's not forget that the Astros do not have Justin Verlander. They didn't have a majority this year, so it's kind of been weird for them, to kind of move forward with that. It's very impressive. It's all the more impressive. It's all the more impressive. I think when they lost Garrett Cole after 2019, when they lost George Springer at the end of 2020, you're thinking like their reign is over. They're in the World Series, so it's very, very impressive. The American League champions. That's very, very impressive. Now, either they win or not, it's still pretty impressive that they're there. So Zach Greinke, you all know how kind of an eccentric guy he is. Kind of a weirdo. So, it's going to see how he does out there tonight. It's going to be very interesting to see. I'm looking forward to watching him pitch. So, as I said, Brian Snitker has not decided his starter for tonight's ball game. It's going to be very, very interesting, though. Probably understand it because, listen, you got to preserve Ian Anderson, right? You can't have him go out there and, throw 8 innings. You need him later in the series, right? And you also can take it the other way and say, hey, you don't want to wear out your bullpen. But with the loss of Charlie Morton, I understand it. I mean, you could maybe have him pitch on some short rest. So I kind of understand it, right? Don't have him go as many innings. As I said, it's a ripple effect. The loss of Charlie Morton in this series for the Braves is going to impact a lot, more than we realize. I'm not going to say more than the Braves realize because clearly they realize it, right? Because they're making changes and steps to adapt to this unfortunate circumstance for them. The Astros, I mean, they didn't get terrible pitching either from Garcia. He definitely didn't go very deep, right? 3 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run was earned, walked 4, but he struck out 6, just 3 2/3, which is very, very good. But both starting pitchers, really racked up those walks, right? They were definitely having trouble locating. It was the first pitch was 50 degrees down there in Atlanta, Georgia. Sure, it was very, very cold for those Braves fans down there. I don't really think they're too used to that weather. But the Astros bullpen wasn't terrible. It wasn't. I mean, they just didn't get any run support. They just did not get any run support. That was the biggest problem. They just got absolutely no run support whatsoever. So tonight, the Astros had to come out swinging against whoever it's going to be, right? We don't know. We do not know yet. I'm kind of intrigued to see, what move Brian Snitker makes tonight. But as goes for Zach Greinke, because this is a guy that has not done well in the postseason this year. He's only thrown 2 1/3 innings. He has a 7.71 ERA. He's not great in the postseason either. A career 4.29 ERA in the postseason, and he had a 4.61 ERA this year with an 11-6 record. So I could see this going anywhere. I could see him getting knocked around and getting taken down the second inning. I could definitely see that. I could see him also going out there and having 5 innings strong, maybe like 6 strikeouts, 5 or 6 strikeouts. 1 run. It's just I could see that. I could see that too. So you don't really know what you're going to get out of this guy sometimes. He's kind of a wild card. I'm not even going to say they're even rolling the dice, but I'm very, very intrigued to see how Zach Greinke's going to go against the Atlanta Braves, right? I mean, that he's the kind of guy that's going to step up his game in a big situation like this, and he really wants his first World Series championship in his career. Sure, he's really striving for that out. Of course he would be. Why would he not? It's going to be very, very fun to watch tonight. Astros, they just were not hitting the ball too hard last night. They were just swinging a lot of bad pitches. I mean, a lot of just filthy pitches from that Braves pitching staff. And the Astros they looked very unprepared. And like I said, they did take some of the walks, right? I mean, ranking up 3 walks against Ian Anderson. I mean, so they did see the ball a little bit, but they didn't do as good a job as they should have. They definitely underachieved. They definitely underachieved in this series, right? So my prediction stays clear. I do see the Braves winning in 7. Who knows? The Astros can come out and win 3 straight, and they're the World Series champions in 6 games. But if the Astros are going to win this thing, I think it will come down to a Game 7. Honestly, whoever wins this thing probably will win it in 7 games. But if the Braves win tonight, I pretty much think it's a foregone conclusion that they will win the World Series. It makes me more confident than I already am in them that they will win. And it reminds me a lot of the Nationals. I'm going to keep going back to the Nationals example because it is a very good example to use, right? I mean, this is a team that was floating around 500 the first half of the season. You lose Marcell Ozuna to that domestic violence incident. Lose Ronald Acuna to that devastating ACL injury. That was the biggest problem. Because not only did you lose a huge on-the-field asset, that sent a bad mentality for the Atlanta Braves. I mean, that had to just be a crushing blow mentally for the players, knowing that the best guy in your lineup was out because of an ACL injury. I mean, that has got to just be horrible. I mean, how was it not? I mean, it had to really take a toll on them. Not knowing that he wasn't in the lineup anymore, right? I mean, their best hitter, the line was centered around him. I mean, this guy was a superstar of the Atlanta Braves, right? Of course, he will be back next season, not at opening day, but, this was just the season already wasn't going well to begin with, right? I mean, it was a 500 season, and then you lose him, you think, like, it is over. It is gone. It's done. Like, forget about it now. But you know what? I give Antonopoulos a lot of credit, and I keep bringing this up because it's important, man. I give Antonopoulos a lot of credit for not giving up. He went out and traded for Jack Peterson and the Chicago Cubs. He went out and traded back for Adam Duvall. Why in the world did Antonopoulos non-tender Adam Duvall? That is just ridiculous. And then, of course, then he went out and made a trade with the Cleveland Indians for Eddie Rosario, an absolute steal with the Pablo Sandoval, trade. I mean, a guy who was DFA'd immediately when he arrived in Cleveland. And even the Jorge Soler pickup, I mean, it was just awesome. I mean, he went out and he didn't just, he didn't go sell at the deadline. I mean, think about this. This is their time right now. I mean, they got Freddie Freeman in his prime right now. He's going to be an impending free agent. They have to try to win with him. They couldn't just throw away this season after Ronald Acuna Jr. went down with that ACL injury. I'm not a big fan of the Atlanta Braves, right? Of course, I'm not taking a side in this series because I don't have a horse in the race. I'm just objectively reporting. I don't really care who wins this World Series. I could care less. It doesn't affect my team. But one thing I will say is I give the Braves a ton of credit because that is not easy. I mean, when you get a crushing blow like that, it's hard to stand up and keep fighting. But you know what? Antonopoulos did that. I give him a lot of credit. But as goes for the Houston Astros, they have to come out swinging tonight against whoever it's going to be. Maybe it's a bullpen game. I don't know. Brian Singer, does he do that in a World Series? I'm not too sure. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. As I said before, I use the word intrigued. I'm very intrigued to see what decision Brian Singer makes. I'm also going live tonight with Mets Talk with Hayden at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time as we do a little World Series watch party stream, right? So on StreamYard, he's going to be coming on here. We're just going to be having a nice chat and watching the World Series. I hope to see you all for that. Guys, since you don't watch this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please don't engage the bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media link in the description section. At Philly Sounds Instagram, TikTok, Instagram. Call or text 267-225-3392. Email me, phillysoundsf@gmail.com. A week from today will be the first weekly update of the 2021-2022 off-season. Hard to believe. Weekly updates are on Saturdays this year. They always start on the first Saturday of November, right? Of course, they always used to start on the first Sunday. Now it's going to be Saturday. I am Luke, and I'll talk to you later. I'll see you guys.